Helpful, thank you. So now we move on to the hearing of verbal submissions, and I'd like to invite Sam MacDonald for the Waimāero Fendalton-Waimari-Harewood Community Board to come forward. Thank you.
Great, well good morning everyone, and thank you Leanne for that welcome. Look, it's great to be the first people to submit on the annual plan for this year. We're acutely aware of the financial pressure that the city faces, and it's something that we have raised with us constantly as a group. We've taken your advice from the beginning, and we're not coming in with a big wish list today. We figure we probably won't get it, and at the same time we do that because there are so many people across our wards that contact all of us on a regular basis concerned about the increases in rates and the impact that's having on them, particularly our fixed income population. So it's just something to be mindful of at the start. So we've just got a few slides today. I don't envisage taking up 20 minutes by any stretch of the imagination, but if I can run through them, and then if there are questions on anything I've got, certainly more than happy, if you're okay with that, Leanne, to take them. The first one is that we continue to advocate for our rates being kept as low as possible, with the council focusing on the maintenance and the provision of our core council services, our infrastructure and facilities, I guess before embarking on building new facilities. And I mean, I guess case in point was last night when we had that significant flooding. It does show up, albeit there is a large part of that was leaves in the gutters. There is still a lot of work to do with our infrastructure, and even in Norwest Christchurch there were a lot of roads that were flooded. So you know, I guess the message is don't forget about us over there. There is a big impact in that respect. And I guess the other point on rates is that we fully support the proposed increase in the annual general charge. Those of you that, or actually most of you will recall in Val Carter's time, it's something she's pushed for quite some time, and we're only too delighted that you were keen to see that. And we certainly hope that going forward we can see this increasing in time, because in our view that gives more equity across the city, and particularly to our wards. So we're only too supportive of that. In terms of the capital program, you'll see we've got some big ticks and some question marks around them at the moment. As we said before, we really want to prioritise the work to improve our roads, maintain our parks and riverbanks, and maintain and renew the water supply and stormwater infrastructure. The board continues to recommend to the council that it focuses on its core business and makes that the priority, and I'm pleased that this annual plan certainly proposes that. The board is also mindful of the ongoing operational costs in supporting council facilities, and strongly recommends that budgeted funds would be better used to support facilities already in existence. It's noted that the cost of repairs, and I understand that the provision in there now is either repairs or demolition of the Eldhurst Hall is in there. You know, we would be reluctant as a board, or certainly our submissions committee, to proceed with restoring that because of the significant costs that will have. So we'd be really keen to...
The hall, the Eldhurst Memorial Hall.
Yeah.
And that's in your ward? No, sorry, okay, sorry.
It's right on the boundary. Yeah, it's right on the boundary.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, but that's a really good example of where we'd like to see, you know, we'd not like to see millions of dollars spent to repair it. And then I guess in light of development of the Metro Sports facility, we also would just be mindful of the need for new suburban swimming facilities as well. The board was disappointed to see that there's no provision made in the annual plan for the installation of traffic lights at the Breens-Harewood Gardners Road intersection. That's currently, actually it's at the printers now going up for consultation, but we would have liked to have seen some signal sent to the community that if it is what they decide it's something that they want, that there would be some provision for that, because currently that certainly isn't how it stands. As we've done in the past, we also look at the Wings to Wheels cycleway project and continue to recommend that is deferred down there, should that be the community's preference. One of the things that won't cost too much, and it's something I think would be really beneficial to the community, is around the Bishopdale Mall regeneration. And you'll recall we've been in a few times on this, and one of the things that stood out from us is the need for some public toilets that are accessible 24/7. So you'll see up on the screen there are two photos there. The first one is the one that's currently there, and the one with the tick against it is something we would envisage being there. We would like to see, if possible, something done around that, given that, you know, the council has quite a vested interest in Bishopdale Mall. So it's just something to bear in mind if we can. And look, finally from us, it's around the water supply. So we fully support the work the council's undertaken to ensure our water supply is safe and secure. That has to be a priority. And one of the things that our board also thought was that we would support the council requesting the facility to charge for volumetric usage of water for commercial water bottling operations. So if that's something that the council as a whole decide to take to government, our board would be certainly more than happy to look at how you go about that and offer some support if we can. So I think that sort of, as I said at the beginning, really sums up where we're coming from, the key issues in our area, while at the same time acknowledging the financial pressure on the city and the need for us not to bring in a long wish list or to make too many significant changes. So yeah, that's hopefully concise and to the point, and hopefully starts you off for a good day ahead.
Excellent. So, questions? Sarah?
Thank you, and thanks for that. Yep. I'm just wondering, when it came to the sort of citywide and community facilities that you've talked about there maybe not being quite such a priority, the one, and rates being a huge priority for your board,
Yep.
the facility that we're about to spend the most amount of money on, sort of in the realm of about $500 million, is the stadium, and that's going to have the biggest impact on rates.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if your board's thought about how it feels about that.
Yes,
whether
I mean,
it needs to be scaled back or... So
I think that the point we were trying to make was that, you know, when we've got pools like the Metro Sports, which will eventually come on, we don't see that there needs to be a massive, there needs to be a lot of sort of other facilities around it in that respect. So I wasn't talking about the stadium. I think that's something that the city needs as a whole.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd be, you know, it would be wrong of me to prejudge what comes through in the business case for that.
Okay, thanks.
Phil?
Thank you, Sam. Just on the annual general charge and rate increases, and I see besides supporting that, the small increase, you're wanting it to be included as part of any future rates increase. And I think, if I heard you right, Sam, you said that that would allow sort of for more equity in terms of the charges.
Yep.
But given that our rate system is a progressive one, I just wonder how, in fact, that really fits if we were to continue increasing the annual general charge in terms of the impact on people who are with lower value properties and people who generally would have lower incomes, as against people with higher value incomes with generally higher incomes. So
yeah.
I'm not quite sure how you arrive at that being more,
right.
Your suggestion being more equitable.
So what I said was it would be more equitable for our wards. So, you know, it goes without saying that, you know, we've got Fendalton, Waimāero and Harewood, which do have average, higher home prices than the average across the city. So from our point of view, it would be more equitable to do that. Yeah, but certainly across our wards.
But just tough on the others. But.
Well, I think I'm here representing our wards. So.
Thank you.
Glenn?
Thank you. Thanks, Sam. Did I hear you right over the wings to wheels? You were saying you'd rather it deferred, is that?
Yeah, so as you'll recall, Glenn, we've been in several times on that, and it's something that we haven't yet had the conversation with formally with the community, but the feedback we get at the moment is that in the pressing needs of the city, that isn't seen as a priority, putting that down Harewood Road.
Thanks.
Andrew?
No, I'm good now, thank you.
Oh, Jimmy and Anne.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sam. And regarding to your host Memorial Hall, I just want to know, in your community, is unanimous, against this hall to be repaired, or just you yourself or some of the community?
Yeah, so the point I was making, and in hindsight now it's probably not the best example to use given it's right on the boundary, was that we don't see the council's priority as being repairing old damaged halls like that. We think that the money would be better spent on other facilities or just not spending it at all. So I don't have a strong view on that hall personally, but the reality is that when we have something like that, we need to be really mindful with how we spend it.
Okay, so your community actually has not yet, to receive the information or presented by the staff, am I right?
Well, it's right on the boundary. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anne?
Thank you. Sam, in your submission you talked about you were worried about expectations of Bishopdale being raised around the mall. Can you clarify what you mean by that?
Yeah, so I think probably for the last 18 months we've been having a really good conversation with Bishopdale Mall and the stakeholders within that, because it's quite an unusual setup in that it's not just one person that has all of the the ability to affect change. One of the things we've done is, as a board, set aside $10,000 to help manage some of the development there. And that has been really good. Mary-Ann's been working quite closely with the community on that. But the unfortunate thing is that it has created higher expectations around other work that needs to be done. and we've identified those toilets as something that would actually be really tangible for the community. And the fact that it's going, well, it could go where the old Plunkett buildings are, would be quite useful as well, because that is due for demolition.
Did you have a cost on those?
We think it's about $150,000.
150.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Seems to cover it all off. Look, thank you very much,
Great.
and appreciate the time that you've put into making the submission and to hearing our request.
Yeah, great.
Very much appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.